Hey y'all, it's Kade. This week's topic is navigating the world with a trans identity. I'm back with my pen. This is going to be an every week thing, I think. So this topic actually is a little hard for me, to be honest, and I think that's because there's just so many ways to interpret this. So what does it mean to navigate the world with a trans identity? And I think for me, as being a newly transitioning trans guy, it looks a lot different for me than maybe other guys. For me personally, navigating the world as a trans guy has changed since transitioning. I think the most important thing, or at least for me, that I can take away from navigating the world as a trans guy is safety. I'm hypersensitive about that now, and I wasn't so much before. Like bathrooms, for instance. Before, I I have always preferred gender neutral bathrooms, just because I've never looked, and still don't pass all the way, but looked like the gender at which the bathroom I needed to go in. So, yeah, I've had a hard time with that. So when I was identifying as like a butch lesbian, that didn't match because I still looked like a boy, but I was trying to go in the women's bathroom. So I preferred gender neutral bathrooms, but I always knew that in the back of my head, if I was in a women's bathroom and something happened, I could just talk at that point in time and just say hello or hi or smile, and they would know, oh, okay, this person is just masculine looking, but they're still female. And I can't do that anymore. Not that I'm mad about it, like I'm really excited to be transitioning and going through this process, but it's definitely not something I really thought about before. So now I'm in this weird transitioning state where I'm going half the time in like gender neutral bathrooms and then the other half of time in like men's bathrooms, but I don't pass all the way yet. Like most of the time I would say so, but it's something I'm always having in the back of my mind is my safety. Am I safe in this bathroom? Am I okay to be in this bathroom? Just different things. So if I can find a gender neutral bathroom, that's 100% where I go. Now, as time goes on, I don't think that will be an issue, but it's always on the forefront of my mind. Another thing that I think about as navigating the world as a trans guy is that you have to be careful who you tell and what friends of yours know, and if they understand enough about the community to know like that it is a safety concern. For instance, I have a friend, and she didn't mean anything by it. She's at my new job, but she said something the other day that outed me. And I think most of the people I work with know I'm trans because I started my new job at the same time I started medically transitioning. So I was still not passing at that point in time. Just in the 4 months alone I've been transitioning, my voice has dropped tremendously. So before I had a rather high voice. But the fact that she openly came out and said something about me being trans around a group of people that I hadn't met until like a month ago, that was one of those situations where I wish I would have had that conversation with her prior, like, hey, I told you I was trans, or you knew I was trans, but really that's not something I want to talk about in public. And that scared me because I don't know how everyone in that room, in that situation, feels about trans people and about just the idea of being trans. There could have been transphobic people in that group, or there could have been people that didn't necessarily know I was trans and now do, and that's something I always am concerned about when I'm navigating different situations. And I think I may have a conversation with this person eventually, just to like say, hey, I'm not mad at you, I know you didn't really think about it, but this is why this is important, and it's my safety. Not everyone is going to be okay with the fact that I'm trans, and there are some mean people in the world, so it's always important to me to know that my transition is my business. Now if I disclose to you, now that's up to me, but I would prefer if you not tell people I'm trans, or just make sure that you're trying to avoid that topic coming up, and I would appreciate it. But that's not something I had to worry about before, because it was clear that I was a butch lesbian at that point in time. My voice was high and I wore men's clothes, but as soon as I spoke, people knew, like, right away, that's a female and this is what it is. So that's definitely been something I've had to navigate, as well as the way I'm perceived. So that wasn't something that was new to me, is as I'm transitioning, I'm seeing that I'm perceived differently. So before, as a female, I think I was a lot more approachable. People really, like, could just feel, I guess, my energy, and they just, I don't know, I feel like more people approached me and talked to me and thought I was like a kind soul than they do now. I still have it, but I think that's just my personality. But it's definitely different now. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention kind of goes back to bathrooms, but excuse me, having my Pepsi here from the Bell of Taco. But was how men interact with each other is so much different than how females interact with each other. And this is just a spectrum. This is not me, I'm not about labels. I don't think you have to be anything. But stereotypically speaking, men have a very different connection in their friend groups and their socialization than women do. As far as I've seen, this is just my experience. So that's been different to navigate. And I didn't have as many male friends before as I do now, and I think a lot of that is switching a job. But I find myself now having more conversations with men, and men including me more in conversations than they ever did before. So that's been something I've had to learn to navigate and be comfortable with. And I don't play video games, and I'm being stereotypical here again, but a large percentage of men play video games, and I know women do too. I'm not saying they don't, but a large portion of men do, and I don't. So that's always awkward for me, just as a person that doesn't, to just say, like, yeah, I'm not into video games, when that is a huge part of what men talk about on a daily basis. At least men or guys my age. So that's something. But I just think that navigating as a trans person, you always have a voice in the back of your head, especially regarding safety and just how to handle a situation. For instance, another example would be anywhere I go, and I talked about this in my last video as well, but my name is not legally changed yet. So I am always skeptical when I have to give someone my ID. I don't want them to look at it, and now it's becoming less of an issue, because, like, gas stations, if I buy cigarettes, not that I'm condoning smoking here, but if I went to buy cigarettes, they would card me, and they used to type in your date of birth, but now they just scan it or slide it. That's made my life so much better, because they don't even look at my name anymore. They just slide it, and I don't have to worry about that awkward encounter where they're like, this dude is standing in front of me with a mustache, but his ID says a feminine name. Like, I'm confused. And it looks like me, but just a different version of myself, because it's from a year ago, except my new ID is pretty current. But yeah, so that was something I always had in the back of my head, is am I safe? Am I okay in this situation? How am I going to be perceived? You just always have to worry about how... This whole video is about navigating the world with a trans identity, and I think we could also flip that by saying navigating different situations with a trans identity. I am always concerned about that. Safety is always my biggest concern, not just for myself, but for others too. I worry about my fiance. Before I was out as trans, actually I might have been out as trans, but I hadn't medically transitioned yet. We were walking through Kings Island, which is our local amusement park. My partner and I were walking through it, holding hands, and someone turned around and yelled, and I hope this doesn't offend anyone, I'm going to use a word here, yelled the word fags at us. And ever since that moment, I don't know, I'm more conscious about who's watching me, where I'm going, what I'm doing, and how I'm being perceived. So then they perceived us, and they knew I was a female, and they knew she was a female at that point. And so that was just an awkward encounter for me. And now I'm doing it on the reverse side. So before, I was always worried about, are people okay with me being gay? Are people okay with me being in a relationship with another woman? But I don't. And I felt it, and I knew there was hate around that, but now I'm at this awkward position where I don't know either way, like, how someone's going to react, and it's so weird being visibly queer turning into not being visibly queer. Like, I'm getting to a point now where so many people just think I'm a dude, like a cisgendered dude, and that's weird for me because I've always, since high school, presented as queer, as a lesbian, and so it's so weird now to try to navigate the world as a cis man. Not a cis man because I'm not cis, but that's how people perceive me. And so it's a whole different ball field to try to learn. And I'm getting there, and things are changing, and nothing about this is bad. It's just something that as a trans person you have to learn. And it's something I didn't expect. Like, I knew it would be different, but I didn't realize how much it would be different, and how social situations would change, how my interactions with people would change, and then like I said, trying to navigate as a what people are perceiving as a straight guy, like a straight cis guy. And so I'm just learning a lot about navigating these different situations. But that's just those are my personal situations at this point in time. And I know I kind of rambled, but this topic was hard for me because it's broad, and not that it's a bad topic, it's a great topic because we need to talk about it. But it's hard to think about all the things that you do as a trans person that impact your navigation of the world. There's so many, and I could probably, the next time it comes up, I'm gonna think, oh shit, I should have mentioned that in my video, and I didn't. So just know that there are several, and for the people out there that are transitioning, or are going to transition, or are trans and or not medically transitioning, you're gonna face some of these things too. And there's always a support system, there's always someone to talk to, because it is hard. It's an adjustment, just like starting testosterone or changing the way you dress. There's always a transitional period. So I assume in a year or so from now I won't have to worry about these things as much as I'm worrying about them now because they're new. But that's my takeaway from today, and I hope this video helps someone. If you guys anyone on this channel has any questions or concerns, or they want us to talk about something, post it in the comments below. Reach us on Instagram, on Facebook, Twitter, anywhere. Reach out to us, and we'll talk about anything. We're looking for new topics, so I'm sorry, I'm trying really hard not to gender things, have any ideas or topics or questions, hit us up. Like, we'd love to be more in tune with what all you are wanting, and we want to be able to provide that to you. So yeah, I'm gonna get off of here because it is late, and by late I mean 8 o'clock on Tuesday night. So I'm gonna get off here, take a shower, get ready for bed, maybe watch some Criminal Minds. Just finished applying for school, so it's been a busy day, a hectic day. Might apply for a new job within my company, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I wanted to just reach out and put that out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, like I said, just hit us up. But I hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday if you're watching this now. If not, whenever you're watching it, I hope your day's been great. Yeah, that's all I got. Kade signing off. Bye, guys.